Well, you must know your audience pretty well by this point, so with whatever turnover there is.
I think a lot of podcasters think they know their audience, but they don't always know the exact persona. And there might be multiple personas within an audience. So I always recommend podcasters try to, do some surveys and get those personas so you really know who you really are talking to.
That is a good idea, actually. How would you go about making a survey for people? Like, how would you get them to fill it out? Would you give them some incentive? Would you put it on your website? Would you make an ad for it on your podcast?
I would do it. I'd do a call out in the show and have the survey created, and I would make it so they could get through it pretty quick, 2 or 3 minutes max, and maybe ask some of those questions that's in the back of your head. Is this who I think I'm speaking to? And you'll find that out. Sometimes you'll confirm what you already knew, but sometimes you might be surprised. We even did that as a company. We did a big persona study, and we were like, oh, a few things we got wrong, a few things we got right. Most of it we knew, but there was a few surprises in there. So it allowed us to change our messaging a little bit within our show to make sure we were talking to that segment that we may not have known about.
Nice. What was the surprise? I'm curious now.
The surprise was we had a heavier mix of folks. We thought our mix was about 70% indie, 30% business, and the mix was more like 80-20. And so what it really did was it told us that those 80% of indies, and we should have knew this, but it just came through in the study that they needed more help growing their show. So we've been like heavy focused on helping podcasters grow. Matter of fact, I tell the team, I say, you have an idea. The second word out of your mouth better be, how does it help the podcaster grow his show? And so we made some changes there in some of our business offerings. And the business customers are still important. Don't get me wrong. But the indie podcasters were a bigger percentage of the business than we thought. And the makeup of how they do their show was surprising in that there's a lot of podcasters out there that are solo. They are producer, director, recorder, social media. They do everything. And that number still runs really, really high. I think there's maybe only 10% of shows that are probably invoking the producer aspect. It's growing. But we thought it had been a little higher, but it wasn't.